Right, it's time for a gentleman's rant video. I mean, everyone else is weighing in on this subject of the miming issue at the moment on Instagram, and it's just recently resonated to live. I mean, look at Lucas, man. Crazy shit. And the dude can obviously play, but the technical proficiency he needs to be able to pull off these lightning fast arpeggios that he writes, well, he's going up and down in Guitar Pro, going, you know what, I can probably pull this off live if I put it through the backing and kind of horse my way through it. This has become a huge issue because what's happening to the musicians that are working really, really hard to get as good as they possibly can at their instrument, but not reaching alien-like levels, cyborg levels of technical proficiency, unless you're Steven Taranto, of course, or Sims Cashin. Outside those two dudes, or Jason Richardson as well, there's people that are working really, really hard to write good music that won't get the same opportunities as the Rings of Saturn dudes. And my friend Levi Clay has been doing a big crackdown on people faking. There's a guy, Theodore Xeris, I think his name is. I remember learning and playing some of his stuff ages ago, but he was releasing some sweep packages or some lesson courses, and it was just him playing along to Guitar Pro MIDI. And I was like, what is going on here? There needs to be a point where people, charlatans, if you will, peddling snake oil, going, hey, look how good this technique is. You should buy my product. And they're not actually playing to the proficiency that they're saying they are. And the weird thing is that people want to sound like that. I've actually heard the other defense recently is like, there's nothing wrong with composing on Guitar Pro and putting that and using it as a compositional device. And whilst I don't think there's anything wrong with it, I think Guitar Pro is a shit tool to compose music. And to prove that point, here is me composing something on Guitar Pro. Okay, so here's like me using Guitar Pro as a compositional tool, because I'm an idiot. Wow, really fast arpeggios. Aren't I smart? What a brilliant compositional exercise. Notice I called the piece some shit thing I wrote. So as you can see, without me physically holding a guitar, you just end up with like wavy arpeggios and silly shred sequences. And it's hard to get those heartfelt moments. Now, the singer, sorry, not the singer of my band, Dean Wells, the guitarist in my band, told me an amazing story about this guitar solo right at the end of their previous album, Her Halo. No, it's at the start of their album. It's a song called An Ordinary Dream. And there's a really, really emotional guitar solo. It's just strings in the background and him playing one of the most upsetting solos I've ever heard. And I said to him, you know, what were you thinking when you wrote that? Because I wanted to get into his head because it's just so heartfelt. And he said, I was told that my dad had a few days to live and I was just playing his guitar and there was just tears coming down my face and going all over my guitar. And I was like, holy shit, you know, you can hear the emotion in this guitar solo. And when we went to Prog Power in the Netherlands, there was a point where all of the band stops and it just breaks down to that string section, and there's no drums, there's no vocals, and there's no bass guitar, and I'm playing rhythm most of the time in this band when I'm not shredding it up. We all just walked off the stage and just sort of became an audience. We just sat there and we watched this guy pour his heart into this instrument. And I was like, it was genuinely one of the most moving moments of music that I'd ever been a part of. And I was in that band. I had to like stop from nearly fucking sobbing on the side of the stage to being like, you need to go back out and perform, because I was so genuinely moved by the emotion he put in. And knowing that story about his dad as well broke my heart even more. There's no way that you can do that on Guitar Pro, and there's no way you can do that miming on videos, miming live. It's impossible. And I saw people in the audience crying, and people came up to us after the show and they were just so genuinely moved by the singer's performance, the whole band's performance, the guitar solos. Everything that we bought was really genuine, and I think that's the missing ingredient, is genuine human emotion. And people always complain about, why is it so hard to get chicks with guitar these days? Like, I'm sweeping my ass off and there's this guy in the corner playing Wonderwall and he's getting all the babes. And it's like, because Wonderwall makes people feel something, you fucktard. It's not about like a girl going, oh my God, he's playing this many sweeps a second. I can't wait to like have some sex with that guy. Wow, look at those sweeps. I want to have his babies. What the fuck are you thinking? So to summate the rant, I think we could all stand to not be trying to crave this robotic shred sound. I think it's really, really damaging to the community. I think it's asking some incredible things that are barely doable, as I said, unless you're like 3 guitarists that I mentioned earlier. And pick up your guitar, start writing music properly, and try play it live. And who cares if when you're moving your hand it makes squeaky noises? Who cares if not every single sweep or shred sequence doesn't sound as perfect as the cyborg that plays it on Guitar Pro? It needs to sound like a human. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you want music to resonate with people, it needs to come from here, people. Use your hearts, use your ears, stop fiddling with your computers. That's my old man, nearly 33 rant for the day. Love to you all. Please chime in on the conversation. Take cares. Mwah.